Shalom, this is Rabbi Allen, and we are continuing our weekly series of Yeshua in the Torah. And so this week we come to the Torah portion of Bamidbar on the Mount, and we are now in the book of Numbers. And so it's Numbers 1 through 40:20. And the corresponding Haftarah portion is from the book of Hosea, chapter 2, verses 1 through 22. And so in our portion this week, Bamidbar, basically we're seeing the record of the journey from the revelation of God at Mount Sinai all the way up to the border of the promised land of Israel. And within this portion also, God tells Moses to take a census of the firstborn. And so let me read from the book of Numbers 3:40. It says, "And then the Lord said to Moses, number all of the firstborn males of the children of Israel." And actually then we'll read that the number taken in the census totaled 22,273 firstborn males. And then in verse 45, God said to Moses, "Then take the Levites instead of all the firstborn, that the Levites shall be mine." So there is this connection where God numbers the firstborn, and then he wants to substitute the Levites for the firstborn. So there's a connection here of the firstborn and the Levites. You know, in Judaism, the firstborn become the head of the family, so to speak. They become the partakers, and they get part of the father's inheritance as the firstborn. And then we know that the Levites were the servants of the temple. We know that out of the Levites would come the Kohanes, the Kohanim, the priests, the priesthood. And so the priests would be, they would do the serving in the temple to do something very specific, and that was to do the animal sacrifices. Well, let's go back and if we can remember that in Genesis, that we read about the account of the Akedah, the binding of Isaac, where God said to Abraham, "Take your son, your only son, and I want you to sacrifice him. I want you to see if you're going to be obedient to me and if you're going to follow my word." So this was the test, that he says, "I want you to take your son, your only son, and I want you to sacrifice him." And so Abraham, in obedience, he prepares his son to be sacrificed. Now, this was a test, as I've said in the past. And basically, this is the test. God was saying to Abraham, "Abraham, I'm choosing you to be the father of a new people that I create, the Jewish people. And I want to know that you will be worthy of being the father of this new people. And so I want to see if you are willing to sacrifice your firstborn, your only son, as I one day will sacrifice my only son." And that we know would be Yeshua. Not only is Yeshua God, but Yeshua also was the firstborn of God, and so he was God's only son. And so Yeshua is the only begotten Son of God. We read in the Brit Hadashah that it says, "God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son." And so we know that Yeshua, when he came the first time, he was the servant, like the Levites were the servants. He was the servant, and he came to serve his Father, but he came to earth to serve us also. And then he's going to return, and when he returns, he will be the head of the ecclesia, the head of the body of believers of Messiah. And then he will rule and reign. And so we see that the firstborn and the Levites show us a wonderful picture of the Messiah to come, and the Messiah that came the first time and will return the second time. So that's it for this week, our short video connecting Yeshua in the Torah. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up down below. You can share this video with friends, with family. You can cut and paste the address that's up above, and send it to them. Or if you have seen this link to YouTube through your Facebook page, you can share that video from your Facebook page right on your page, so that people that are friends of yours have this wonderful opportunity, if they'd like to watch this, to learn and hear more about Yeshua in the Torah. And also down below you can subscribe. There's a subscribe button and a little bell there, and if you hit the subscribe button and then click that little bell, whenever I release a new video, if you're on your computer at the time, a little bell will come out. And so, until next week, this is Rabbi Allen. I am bidding you peace. Shalom, shalom.